Hello everyone, good morning. Am I audible? Yeah, good morning. So today we are going to start OOPS concepts and these are actually important one. So this is actually Vandan Mishra. Sumit is not taking class today. I am taking class today. So I'll be taking care of the OOPS concepts and the collections topic. And if you face any problem in between, just let me know. I will address all your queries here only. Okay. So let me share you the topic list for upcoming 2 days. Today we will understand what is the class and what is the object, what is the inheritance in Java, overloading, overriding and constructor. So these we understand today, and tomorrow we will go with the access modifiers, super and final keywords, abstract class and interface encapsulation, and some hidden topics that you need to know. Okay. Meanwhile, the request is from you guys, please join on time, like 10 a.m. will start, because I think that from my previous experience, previous batches, it's like people joining at 10:30 also. So this will be killing of your time only. Okay. So we'll start direct from class and object. Meanwhile, can anybody tell me? Oh, uh, that's why I say please join on time. Okay. So let's understand, try to understand what is the class. Can anybody tell me what is the class, what is the object? This is very basic. Anybody can unmute yourself and tell me. No one. Okay, let me tell you. See, class, if you, what is the class, then it will be termed of object. You all know what is the class, what is the object, but who actually takes the memory? Class takes the memory. Okay, I am right? Guys, whatever the topics are, just you first, before attending class, at least some basic knowledge you gain and then come, so it will be more understandable session for you. Here you can see this object takes the memory. Object, whenever we create a class, then class doesn't take any point of memory. Whenever we create the object, then only it takes the memory. Okay. So object takes the memory, object creates the memory. And how we will be creating the object? By using new keyword in Java. Okay, there are many ways to create object without new keyword also, but here we will learn, because 99% time we will be using this, so you have to learn this. Okay, class is nothing but a kind of structure that you create to store some data, and whenever you will be creating the object, then class will then whenever you will be creating the object, then what will happen, for that particular class the memory will be allocated. Okay, suppose I am writing here, suppose there is a class A. Okay, and I am writing, as per my requirement, I am writing here integer A. Okay, is equal to 10. Okay, and then I am writing string name is equal to suppose Vandan. Okay, then this class is created, but do this class uses any memory? No, until unless we don't create object for this. When we will create object for this, then only the memory will be allocated. Till that point 0 byte of memory is taken. Okay, nothing memory is consumed in the heap in this system. Okay, so but whenever we will be creating object for this class, like a object is equal to new a, now what will happen, this new will create some object. Okay, some object like, and inside that object the memory, this a will be there, this name variable will be there. Okay, this a variable will be there. Okay, then it will consume the memory. So class does not consume any memory until we create object for this, that. Okay, so this is one of the question that you may be asked sometimes. This is very basic question. Okay, so we will first understand how to create object for a class. Just go here, new Java project. Okay, and oops concepts. Java oops and inside this src I will create a package class object. Okay, now I will create a class example. Okay, I will not check my main method because in this class we will not create main method. Guys, in between you just please make this session interactive. Okay, here this what I will do, see this 10 pixel is coming. Okay, my screen is visible or not? Okay, okay, thank you. Int number is equal to suppose 10. Okay, equals to is required, and string name is equal to Vandan. Okay, why this is creating a error message? What is there? Libraries. Let me change my Eclipse, somehow corrupted this one. same one is open. Why yaar? Let me come to here. This one order version period. Packages. Yes, we can create directly. We can create, but uh, this is not a good practice actually. Okay. So here what we have did, actually that package was corrupted somehow. I have used a wrong package and whatever, just ignore that. Okay. So this example class object I have created, and here I will take two numbers. Integer number is equal to 10. Okay, and here I will take string name is equal to Vandan. Okay, now you can see this class is created, but this class does not have allocated any memory until unless I will create object for it. Okay, so this is one of the class. See why we create classes, that we have to understand first why classes and this data structure come into picture. See, before we have object oriented programming, we have the functional programming. Okay, but suppose for a basic example, you have written code for adding two numbers, method you have written for adding two numbers. Okay, now you want to use that method again and again, so it is not good practice to write that method again and again. This will be not good use of code reusability. Okay, and code redundancy will be there. So to overcome this problem, we have functional programming, but in the methods were not structured actually. If I talk about, I want a mechanism where a student data can be manipulated. So you just will create a class where student data, name, email ID, mobile number will be there. Okay, let's just, okay, and whenever you will be creating object, you will be able to use that student class. You will not need to create again and again that code. Okay, so here I will make this student. Okay, so if you want to change, just go refactor, rename and student, so it will be more understandable to you. Okay, class name is changed, so student roll number I will give here, and n will be capital. This is a good uh, way to practice variable names. First word will be starting from the small, and the second word will be starting from the caps. Okay, and number is starting n caps. Okay, and here student string name is equal to Vandan, so student roll number is equal to 10. Okay, and student name is what? Vandan. Now this I have created. There will be a method void print student data. Okay, so whenever I want to access any student number, I will access the data. Okay, any student data I want to access, I will just call this method, and this method will be returning me student data. Okay, so student data, just I will use sys out small and caps, and then roll number is plus roll, control space, it will suggest you variable name also. You can see here roll number plus then name and variable is name. Okay, just give some space. Okay, so this way it will print the student data. But here if you run this program, right click and run this program, it will not suggest you to run, because this class doesn't have main method. I said like without main method you cannot run a program. Okay, so you have two ways. Either in the same class you will create the main method and call this print student data. Okay, other way is that you just create a new class student main, and there you will create the object for this student class and call this method. Okay, so here see, these are very basic questions, a basic understanding, but from here only you need to pay attention. So what I will do, first I will create object here only, main and control space, it will create main method for you, and then I will create object for this student class here. Okay, student is equal to new student. Now see what object name I have given, student object is student only. See, people give object name like this obj. Okay, this is actually not a good practice, and this is actually very bad practice. Suppose after you someone is coming and line number 101 the code is written student object is equal to new student. Now he is using this object inside line number 10,000. Okay, now he is using this code inside line number 10,000. Now what will happen, he has to check object dot method which class object is this. Okay, he will be confused, and he has to traverse to the top to see which class object is this. Okay, then it will not be good practice. So in that case your naming convention should be very clear, and you will go any project, you will be working in any project, this If you practice from the beginning, this will be helping you. Now I'll show you one thing, and I will tell you that nobody is actually tell these things in their courses, because these all the things I can guarantee you, if you will not learn, you will not able to work in the project. And if you learn these things, it will be very easy to you to understand these things. I will go to window, show view, and here in show view, what will you see? ANT, just ignore this console, you have this console here. Then what you need? Outline. Okay, just click on this outline. Outline will present somewhere here. We'll see. Then go to window, show view, and where is that? Yes, outline is showing here. I am seeing something else. Variable is where, yeah. This may be older version. Yeah, this one. Variable. Now variable should present here. Variables are here. Okay, and we'll see one by one. Just keep it here, and okay. So see, this is the student class, and student class have what? Roll number, name. These are the variables, and this print student data, this main method. So if you have more than 100 methods inside this class, you will be keep dragging yourself to that method. Okay, but if you have this outline in here, if you have this outline, just click on this main method, you will see it will starting from here. You can see, if you will click on this print student data, it will come into print student data. If you will go to main, it will go to main method. Okay, here. So your all method list will be here. Okay, similarly if you go here, guys, please mute yourself. If you go here and show view or not here, then just right click and toggle breakpoint. Okay, suppose I have a breakpoint here, double click on here, and it will be making debugging point for you. Okay, now I will go to this show view, and it should show here breakpoints. Yeah, where they are going actually, just come here, land here, all these things should land here in the same, otherwise, and variables also. Okay, see this, the variable outline. In your case it will be landing here somehow. This Eclipse is a older version, so it is not supporting me, but understand the key only, what I am saying, just focus on that. Okay, so you have more than 50 debugging points in your code which is 20,000 line of code, then you can remove from here. Just okay, debugging will learn very deeply, but as of now just you understand what I am trying to say. Right click here and you will see remove all breakpoints here, toggle breakpoint, disable breakpoint, you will see here. Okay, all this list will be here. As of now we will understand outline only. Okay, I will make it to the top. Okay, now I am going to create one more class which will be, okay, let me run it first. Okay, and whenever I am running it I will make sure my breakpoint should be at the top, so I will run this code. Okay, right click, debug as. Now you will not run as because you want to debug your code. Okay, so you will not run the code, you will debug as same Java application. Just switch to debug mode. Okay, now you will see this one, step over F6 and this step into F5. Okay, I will come to this, what is step into. Okay, just I will click on this F6 and you will okay, you can see all these breakpoint variables expressions are here. Okay, because now I am in debugging mode. Now I'll add outline to outline. Okay, see variables in this class, how much variable you have, it will show here once you will go and execute this step. Okay, currently it has not executed this step, that's why you can't see any variable here. Okay, whenever you will be executing, then only you will be able to see. Okay, so this variable component will show you all the variables that has been present in the class, but this debugging point is here. It will, whenever you will be running, you will see here. Breakpoints, where you have the breakpoints, see, I will remove all this, just ignore this breakpoints as of now, because you have only one single debugging point here, you will be facing issues here. Expressions, okay, this expression is very long term topic, I will remove this. Okay, uh, expressions are, suppose you are in the line number 72 and you want to run line number 62 and you are your debugging point is in line number 72. So do you run your code again, do you debug your code run again? No, because it will take time to execute till 62 line. So just paste that line of code inside expression and it will work for you, we will understand later. Outline, just see here, this main method and print student data is present inside this class. Okay, so outline will show you all the variables and the methods, mainly you have to use for methods. Okay, so I will step over this and my pointer will be here. Just come to variable F6 and you can see this line has been run, and again one step. Okay, now what I said you, that execution will start from the main method only. Okay, that's why you don't have any argument present here, any variable present here. Whenever I pressed F6, first it came to this line, then it doesn't find any method, then it directly jump to main method. Okay, what it will do, whenever you will run any Java program, it will first come to the main method and execution will be starting from the main method. Okay, now I will run step over F6, it came here, and it will close, nothing there, because I have not created the object, and I have not called any method, just created the object. Now using, I will close this. Now using this student object dot, I will call this print student data method. Okay, print student data. Now I will keep my debugging point here inside line number 8. Right click, debug as Java application. Okay, so just remove this one. It is here. Okay, and then I will press F6. It will come first to main method. Okay, it came to main method student, and then it will call run this line. So when it will run this line, then it is here, the point debugging pointer is here, and then roll number is printed. Okay, it is very small code to understand. Anybody has any issue with understanding this debugging point? Or let me do just one thing, I will explain it again. Just remove this debugging point. Yes, somebody is asking something. Which one is my, okay, sure, yeah. We will come to those topics. Yeah, don't go too far. We will come to those topics. Don't worry. These are the actually topics. If here I will reply, then many people will be confused. We just started class and object. Will take modifiers later. Okay. Now I will save this. Now this I have created a different class. First of all, just terminate this debugging mode, and then I have created a different class student main, and here I will be creating object for this student class. Okay, now inside student main class, what I have did, I have created object for student class and calling the method of student class. Okay, because this print student data is present inside student class. Okay, so here I will keep my debugging point, right click, debug as Java application. Okay, now you have to understand two things. You have one F6 and second one you have F5. Okay, F6 will execute any method, but F5 will go inside that method. And if you want to go to inside that method, because suppose I am calling a method which I have 1000 line of code and 672 line code is failing, then how I will debug that particular method? I don't want to debug only this class. If this class is calling any method internally like print student data, so I want to go inside this method, I want to debug this as well. Okay, suppose as of now that this is a 1000 line of code. So okay, so I will come to this. Okay, execute, and when this debugging pointer where my cursor is will be present in line number 8, then this object is calling a method. Now you can see this object is calling a method because you can see parenthesis here. Now if you want to go inside that method and debug it, then you have to press F5, not F6. So first I will press F6 and you will see. Okay, just F6, and now I will again press F6 and you will see it will print student data here. You can see it has printed student data here. Suppose this 1000 line of code will be there, then it will be running that 1000 line of code and anything is failing, you will never know. So if you want to debug this internally, then you have to press F5. Okay, I will close this and debug it again. Debug as Java application, and first I will press F6, then this debugging point which is present in line number 7 will come to line number 8, which is calling a method, and then I will press F5. This F6 you can directly use through your keyboard as well, but I am using this one so that you can understand. You cannot see my keyboard as of now. Okay, now my pointer is here and I can clearly see that this is calling a method internally. So I will print F5. So step into F5. Now see, it has jumped you to that print student data method. Okay, now if this has 100 line of code, then it will step by step you will can execute all of those. Like then I will press F6 because I want to remain in same method. Okay, same class, then F6. Now it has printed. This is basic difference that you have to understand. Topic was not this today, but still. Okay, now it is clear to all. Okay, so this is about class and object, how we create the class and how what is the object. Now you have to, yeah. Okay. See, currently I am in which class? I am present in student main class. Suppose let me create void m1. Okay, just I have created a method sys out m1 method. Okay, and then I will create one more method, and then m2 m2 m3 m3, and I will okay, no worries about messages, just look at the method names. Similarly, I will copy this n1, n2 and n3. Now you are present in which class? Student main. Okay, now all the methods which are present in student main class you can see here: main method, m1 method, m2 method, m3 method. Whenever I am clicking, suppose I am clicking on m2 method, it will jump me to directly into m2 method. But the thing is that currently you are saying, okay, I can directly jump here. What the need of the outline? This is the 4 line of code. A single method can be written in, even in project which I am working, single method is taking at least 10,000 line of codes. So now how will you jump? Will you drag your this drag and drop, what you see, progress bar, what we say it, you will drag to that 10,000 line of code. You have second thing, you can use like this, control L, and it will ask you which line number you want to jump. Suppose you are giving 22 and go to line, it will jump you to line number 22, but will you remember? Because every day code is changing, modifying, line number will be changed. So better way is that outline you should have here, and then you can see. Okay, so this is the use of outline. It will show you all the methods present in the class. Suppose I am going to student class, Then all the methods n1, n2, n3 print to student data, it showing to you, and of course the variable names. You have only deal with this method names. Just if you want to change anything in variable name, just click on it, will jump you to variable names also. This is the use of outline. Right. Yeah. Similarly, we have other variables also. Similarly, breakpoints inside your class, how many breakpoints are there, you can see all those breakpoints. Just ignore as of now, okay. And then we'll have expressions, okay. Now here, if everybody got idea, then what is this? Just I will remove this code, okay. This was for your understanding. I will remove this code. Can anybody tell me what is this? What is this student? Object, okay. Then what is this student? This. Okay. Then what is this? Then what is this? Yeah, this, yeah, this is constructor. So a very famous question is, first of all we will understand the constructor, then very famous question is what is the difference between methods and the constructor, okay. So and you are calling the constructor. Now student class constructor, where that is present, you are calling, but there is no constructor in this class, because Java internally provide you default constructor. If you write this constructor like this, student, then it's okay. If you don't write it, it is automatically written in your code. You can't see, that is a hidden code, and there is a tool, I am forgetting the name, that you install inside the Eclipse. It will show you all the hidden codes of Java, okay. So this is actually constructor, okay. So here you can see, one second guys, I am थोड़ा पढ़ा, okay. Okay, so here this constructor is automatically created, okay. Means this is written hidden code that you have used here. Okay, so this is a Java constructor. Now using constructor you can allocate memory to a class, you can create the object, okay. So this is one way of creating the object in the class, which we understand, okay. Now inside constructor, suppose you write sys out. Now this is user defined constructor, okay. Default constructor doesn't have any message. Whenever you give any message, now it will be coming. Now if I run this program again, now I will not debug this code, I will run this code, okay. Run as Java application. You can see first what is called constructor, and why, because student is equal to new student, and constructor is called first, method is called secondly. Okay, that's why this constructor, whenever it got called, it has executed this line of code. Okay, suppose I give here some argument, int number comma string name. Suppose I will pass two variables here. Okay, then what is the error coming here? Syntax error, block statements. And what is this actually? Okay, so I will go to this student class. I will create a constructor student integer, because first variable that I passed from there is integer and second is string name. Okay, oh, now this I have created. Okay, now error, when you will save it. Okay, now you are calling which constructor? Parameterized constructor. And what is this said? This is said as constructor overloading. Okay, so is constructor overloading is possible in Java? Yes, and you can see one constructor is parameterized. What is one constructor is parameterized? What is parameterized constructor? Which have parameters, integer, string. Okay, and what is non-parameterized constructor? Which doesn't have any parameter. And non-parameterized is one of the constructor, default constructor, which is present already in Java, either you create or not create. Okay, the second thing is that, guys, whenever you face any problem, like any misunderstanding or any query you have, then feel free to ask. Otherwise I will be keep going like this. Okay, suppose I comment this out. These are the rules that you have to write in your pen and paper. Whenever I used to study, I actually used to do this practice. Okay, let me uncomment it and show you. If I remove this parameter and call the default constructor, is there any error? Is there any error in my code? No. Okay, but suppose I comment this one. So what I said, that default constructor is already present in Java. This I said to you. Okay, now I will comment it out. Now this is showing error here. See, what is the error? The constructor student is undefined. Now I said to you that default constructor is already present, either you create or not create. Now your question should be, sir, you have commented this code and you are saying that this is already present in Java. Now here, why this error is throwing? Okay, previously when I have created, this was not present. Then my answer will be, let's comment out this code also. Now error is gone. And why? Because whenever you will creating any parameterized constructor, then the default constructor of that class will be killed. Then if you want that default constructor, then manually you have to write that code. Default constructor you have to write manually. These are the rules. Now if you are swapping this, just please write it down. Otherwise, if your concepts will be not clear, it will be problem for you. Understand it or not understand it? I will go further then. These queries comes when I start Selenium, because people think, hey, I don't use it. What is the need of that? At the day when we will start training for the Selenium, see, Selenium does not require very much understanding of the Java, or your logical ability should be very clear. You have very good logical skills, programming development skills. Selenium does not require that. Selenium only requires your concepts, because very basic concepts will be used in Selenium. That's why I am coming to very basic. And if you go for interview, this very basic questions will be asked. So this is about the constructors from my side. If anybody has any query, then ask me. Guys, please go with your syllabus. There I have written a topic for constructor chaining. Okay, so nobody is asking, sir, what is constructor chaining? So what is constructor chaining? This I will cover tomorrow. Okay, just you have to understand constructor today. Okay, whenever I am going with any topic and you are attending any course, you have to very careful for the topics. So syllabus I have designed in a way, if you will Java syllabus, whatever I am covering is useful only, nothing garbage is collected. So if whenever you are going with those topics, you have to very careful. Okay, now the next topic is inheritance. Okay, this is very important topic actually. I will create a package for this. Inheritance example. I will close this. Okay, now what is inheritance? See, suppose there is a class A where I have written method M1 and method M2. Okay, and there is a class B where I have written method M3 and method M4. Now if I want to write, guys, just a minute. कौन क्या कौन भाई मुझसे तो जिसने पूछा बता दिया मैंने, अब क्या कौन पूछ रहा? कहाँ पूछा? इस पे सुनाई दे रहा है? पता नहीं अरे यार म्यूट पे तो नहीं पूछ रहा, रुक जा एक सेकंड, आज रिज्वाइन करता हूँ। Hello, guys, can you listen to me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, guys, can you listen to me? Yeah, somebody asked some question. Actually, I don't listen. I got call from Sumit. Anybody asked the question? Somebody was asking. I actually have not listened. Is it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, sure, sure. And other than this, anybody has asked? Okay, 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 okay. Sure. I will cover this. That. Okay. Okay. I actually, am sorry for that. I actually not listened to that. Maybe your voice was slow or whatever. I missed. Don't know. Just know that. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, if we I'm not able to hear you, then you can comment your query in the chat box also. Okay. So I'll be replying instantly. Somehow they that can be happen. Okay. Okay. My earphone may be some distracted from that point, so maybe that's why. Okay. Okay. Here I will use this one class, this one inheritance class A. I will use A, B, C. The names are very easy, and these are in sequence, so you will understand the parent child. That's why I am taking this name. Okay. Or we can take this parent. Okay. And here, first of all, let's go with the theoretical. Okay. uh, okay, this suppose there is a class A which has method m1. You can see my screen, right? Okay. Suppose there is a class A which has method m1 and m2. Similarly, we have a class B which has method m3 and m4. Okay. Now these A and B both have two methods. Suppose I am creating a class C. Class C has its own use case. It has its own method, which are m5. Okay, suppose there is a method in class C which is present in class C only, but class C has the requirement of some code which has already written in class A. Okay, and which is m1. So m1 had that code, m1 has that code which is already written in class A, and it is required from class C. Class C required that code which is already written in class A. So is it good practice all the time to create the object for that class A? No. How many objects will create? Suppose there are 100 methods in the class A which is required by class C. So you'll one time you will create the object, and you are calling all the methods one by one. So 100 line of codes are written for the calling those methods. Understand? Suppose this class A has 100 methods. You can say, sir, okay, why we require inheritance? We will just create object of this class A inside class C and call all these 100 methods. But my next question will be, you will write 100 line of codes then. Okay. So, in that case inheritance is coming in the picture. Okay. There is a keyword in Java, extends. If you use this keyword, you can inherit all these methods, all A class methods inside class B. Okay. So, this is about inheritance. If you want to use some property of a class, then you can inherit that class. You have to decide, suppose you want to call one or two method, then you should create object, because only one or two methods you have to use, because if you create the object, memory will be allocated for all those 100 methods. Okay. So, if you have a memory concern, then you have to take what I have to do. Inheritance will extend all those method, will not create the memory. Okay. Just not go to that part, it will be more confusing. Okay. Extends. So, in Java we have basically these are the inheritance which are supported by Java. So, first one is single. Single means suppose class B extends class C. Okay. Another is multi-level. Multi-level means suppose C is extending class B and B is extending class A, means A property is inherited by class B and B property is inherited by class C. Now, these are two methods which are present in class A, two methods are present in class B and one method is present in class C. Now, my question is, how many method will be present in class C? So, C has its own method 1, 2 methods are coming from class B in C 3, and class B has how many methods? Class B has 2 methods and 2 coming from class A 4. So, B has 4 methods, C has 1 method. So, total 5 methods are present in class C. Okay. This is multi-level inheritance. Means multi-level inheritance means what? My grandfather has a diabetes. Okay. For an example, nowadays diabetes is very common. Okay. Just do exercise, because you will be diabetic. Nowadays lockdown, nobody goes outside, nobody do exercise. Okay. This is my suggestion. And my grandfather has a diabetes, my father has a diabetes, inherited. Now, my grandfather has a diabetes and suppose he has blood pressure. My father inherited blood pressure from the my father. Suppose my grandfather has blood pressure, my father and my grandfather was not diabetic, and my father inherited only blood pressure from the my grandfather. Now, my father has blood pressure in beginning and now afterwards he is diabetic. Okay. Now, my father has two diseases, blood pressure which is coming from the grandfather and diabetes. He has not done any exercise, he is diabetic now. Now, he has two diseases and major diseases. Now, I have blood pressure and diabetes, and I will create one more disease for me, heart patient suppose. Then I will give this to my child. Okay. Okay. So, this is the example that you can understand like this, that parent child relationship you have to understand. Now, I will child object parent reference, parent object child reference. If you will understand this concept, that are only the theoretical and analytical things that you will understand easily. Okay. So, this is actually single level multi level inheritance. There is one more hybrid. Hybrid means single label plus sorry, hierarchical, not hierarchical. Don't go on the spelling, just to. What is hierarchical inheritance? Hierarchical inheritance may be joint of two, single, multi-level, single, multiple, but if there is multiple in this joint family, then that inheritance won't be possible. Okay, so you have to be very careful what you are choosing. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java, and I will tell you why. And this is question that is asked in interviews also. Okay, basically all inheritance are the combination of only these three: single, multi-level and multiple. Hierarchical, hybrid, there is no such inheritance in picture, only those are the combinations. Now you have to look to the combination and then you can decide. Okay, so understand the single, multi-level and multiple only. Now I will go to the code. I will create a class grandparent, and he has actually string disease is equal to yeah, there is no limitation, there is no limitation. But why you will create how many objects? Why this question is concept concepts related question ask you. Okay, uh, don't go with these things. These things you can try in your editor. If you are not understanding, then ask. See, these are the very basic things that you have to understand. Okay, ask any question related to the Java, anything like this also, how many objects, but this is actually not relevant. Don't mind. Okay, okay, so you ask me about anything related to inheritance. Okay, there is no limit in Java for anything. Okay, just you understand, just you try in your editor. If it is not allowing you to create object after 5 objects you have created, then come to me. Okay, disease is equal to, suppose, blood pressure. This my grandfather, there is no reality in this, I am just giving you an example. I am very do exercise daily actually. So you guys need to, don't worry about that. Okay, many courses are coming in future, I will collect the fees. And this is the parent, and my parent, suppose string disease is equal to diabetes. Now diabetes. Okay, grandparent has blood pressure, father has diabetes. Now one more class, and you can see every time I am creating class inside packages only. Parent, oh, child, and child has one disease called string disease equal to heart patient, very bad injury, disease. Okay, so now this grandparent, I will print this out. There is a shortcut, just not go to that shortcut, void print disease. I will go to that later. Okay. Sys out disease is plus disease. Okay, and here in parent I will print. Guys, feel free to ask questions. I will not reply like that next time. Right, print disease. Disease. Sys out disease, parent disease. Okay, parent. You guys are understanding what I am writing, or I am just sorry, or I am just writing it out. You can interrupt me in between also. That's why we are here. Spelling mistake. There is a spelling mistake, not here. Okay, so here now child white print disease sys out child disease okay. Okay, here just change the name of that parent disease, otherwise it will be overridden. Okay, I will tell you what is overriding. Grandparent. Okay, now see, I will come to this outline. Okay, don't worry about that. And now I will create a main method which is disease main. Check this main method and create a class. Okay, now just remove this auto generated method comment and then come to grandparent. What I have created three different classes. One is grandparent, one is parent, one is child, and one class which is responsible for creating main method object for these three classes. Okay, so what I have did, there is a disease in parent class which is form from string variable, and this string variable containing a disease blood pressure. Okay, and I will make this grandparent disease. Okay, and this I will make parent disease. This I will make child disease, and all these variables should be like that only. And grandparent if today you will understand it carefully and today you will practice this, then tomorrow's topic will be very easy for you. And tomorrow first 10 to 15 minutes only for your questions, and then I will come to topic. Okay, so if you face any problem today as of now, then ask today only, or afterwards you are facing any issue, just come out to me and I will solve all your queries and then move forward tomorrow. Okay, so now you will understand carefully that I have a class grandparent okay, which has the string variable which is actually holding this blood pressure disease. I am just printing in this method, and then there is a other method, other class which is having this parent disease diabetes, and this I am printing here, and there is a child class which having parent disease which is having what, child disease, okay, and it's a heart patient. I am just printing it out, okay. As of now I will close this child, don't mind for that, okay. And what I have did, I actually, this is main I have created in outside of the package, then by default it has created default package. I will remove this, cut this and paste inside that package only. Cut, where is cut, oh, just remove it out, delete it. First let me paste here, and now delete this default package. Here's the delete, okay, just delete this class, okay. Now you can see I have this is main, one is the grandparent, okay, one is the parent and one is the this is main, okay. Now you can see grandparent is diabetic, okay, or just don't be confused with the class name parent child and grandparent parent, okay. Just go with one hierarchy, that grandparent has a blood pressure disease, this is just class name, don't worry about the class names, you can give any name, okay. I have given this one, grandparents has blood pressure, parent has the diabetes. Now I will create object for parent class, okay, object for parent class. As of now I am not performing inheritance, then you will see what is the reality. Parent is equal to new parent, okay, and inside this parent what I have this string variable and this method, okay. So I will call parent dot this string variable if you want to call, okay. Then it will say one thing, variable declarer compare local variable declaration, you just make it public, okay. Now you go and call it, okay. Then there is a error, insert variable declares to complete local variable declaration, okay. Okay, just ignore it, it requires a topic to explain, just ignore it as of now. We'll call method only, okay, we'll cover it tomorrow, it requires something different it out, okay. I will call method parent dot this method parent disease, okay. Whenever you click on this dot, it will suggest you some method. It is suggesting you first of all string which is variable present in parent class, ignore as of now. Then it is saying like you can call this parent disease method, okay. Now I call it, okay. Now if you run it, now before this you understand that one thing, parent, you have created object for which class, parent class. Now if you are putting dot here, it is suggesting you to call only one method which is print parent disease which is present in parent class, okay. So print parent disease, it is asking to call you, okay. there is no other method which is saying that you call it. Other are actually Java defined methods. Okay, to string wait notify all notify hash code get class equals. These are Java defined methods. Any predefined method which is present in Java class? Yes, parent. Sorry, user defined which has present in parent class. Yes, this one parent. It is written here parent. Other are Java object class methods. Okay, just parent has only one parent. This print disease, print parent disease, you just call it. Okay, but if you write here extends grandparent, okay, then if you put here a dot, then you can see grandparent. It is allowing you to call grandparent method, but you are creating object for parent class only. Still, now how this method is present in this class? You inheritance, through inheritance this variable and this method is coming inside this parent class. Okay, now if you want to call grandparent, sorry, and parent dot print parent disease. Okay, see, if you remove this line, then it will not allow you to access this grandparent method. Okay, through inheritance only it will allow you to access. Okay, anybody has any query? I will come to this outline. Just paste this, then other will be gone. Now it is about outline. So I am present here in disease main class. So disease main class has this method main. So it is suggesting you only main method. Okay, and this parent class has one method print parent disease. So it is showing you parent disease, and then this grandparent. Then grandparent has one method print grandparent disease. Okay, so whatever class you are, it will show you all the methods which are present in class. Okay, now it is about to debugging. Then just I will comment one toggle here, means I will put my breakpoint. Okay, see, now you are confused with the class name only. Okay, suppose I change this class name to parent and this to grandparent, there is no worry. Here you are able to create any object of any class. Okay, but see, parent is extending grandparent. Okay, okay, now if I create grandparent object, grandparent, okay, grandparent is equal to new grandparent. then you can see grandparent dot uh, this is class name, no, dot, it is suggesting you grandparent, uh, this method grandparent disease. It is not suggesting you method of parent class. There is two. See, grandparent has one method only and it is not extending any class. So, it has its own property only, but parent has its own property as well as it is extending grandparent. So, grandparent will be properties will be also present in parent class. But if you are creating object for the grandparent, then grandparent has only this method and it is not extending any class. Okay. Now, if you will try to extend this, then you will extends parent, then you see error cyclic, okay, hierarchy of grandparent is inconsistent. What does it mean? Because cyclic inheritance is not possible in Java, means I am extending my parent and parent is extending me. No, it is not possible in Java. Okay. Now this is similar way. Okay. If you got it, then just go to the topic and this one I will comment, sorry, I will toggle breakpoint here, right click, debug as Java application. Now I will make you understand. See, for this is F6, this is F5. If you want to enter inside any method, then you have to use F5, otherwise line by line you want to execute, then you have to press F6. This is calling a method, this is calling a method, this line. Okay. So, if you want to go inside this method and line by line debug all this, then you have to use F5. Just let me press F6, it came to this line, outline you can see, main method only present. Then I am in this line, I want to go to this class and this method, then I have to press F5. Otherwise, if let me do F6 as of now for this one, and for the line number 10 I will execute F5. Okay, just F6. See, it has executed. So, if there was thousands line of code, then it was executing all those method, and if you want to point at some movement in this method, then I won't able to do this. So, if then I have to use F5 for that. Okay, F5. Now, see, now it came to parent class. Okay, and it is executing here. I will again press F6, disease of parent disease diabetes, this I have done. Okay. So, this is the way. Now, you can see if I am in parent class, it is showing me print parent disease. Do not worry, we will keep doing this throughout the sessions. Okay. This is not the ending, we will, whenever the data will be more with us, then we will more understand this topic. Okay. Do not worry about that. Until you do not understand, till that I will be keep explaining this. Do not worry about anything for that. Okay. We are here to learn. When a single student is not able to understand, I will make him or her understand this. Okay. We will use more, because these things you need to see, these things you will understand by practice only. Okay. I will explain here. There is one class was child. This is single level inheritance. Class parent is extending grandparent. Now it is about child. Okay, now child class is present. Now see, parent is extending grandparent and child will extend parent. Okay, now if I create object for child class, child dot see, now see, it should have three methods. One is coming from parent, one is coming for sorry, grandparent. Parent has two, one is inside parent, one method is coming from the child. So parent has two methods and child has its own method, 2 plus 1 3. Okay, so means grandparent method is present inside child class because this parent has present the grandparent and you are extending parent, that I given you example. Okay, so whenever I am creating object for child class, then see, child grandparent disease, parent disease. Okay, print grandparent disease, print parent disease, print disease. Okay, all these are present, so I will call one by one all. Child dot print grandparent disease child. Okay, so grandparent disease should come. Okay, now I'll run this. You can see disease is blood pressure, which is coming from grandparent, and then parent disease diabetes, child disease heart pain. Whatever message I have given here, that is printing. Yeah, you can write here. Now I will debug this code again. Right click, debug as. I will press F6. Okay, and F6, it is print grandparent disease. It is in this line. This child method is this child object is calling a method. If I want to enter this I want to enter inside this method, I will press F5. Okay, so now I am in grandparent class which has this method. I will execute with F6. Okay, now you can see again, then it is returning to this line number 15. Again, if you want to directly execute this method, press F6. If you want to enter inside method and debug all that method, then you have to press F5. Okay, this way you will use. This is multi-level inheritance in Java. There is one more, multiple inheritance. Not only Java, this is a common to all programming languages. Multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. I am not aware of all programming languages, but in Java multiple inheritance is not possible. Why? Because see, suppose we have this print grandparent disease. Instead of one more method, I have print void m2. Okay, and sys out m2 grandparent. Okay, and similarly I have one this m2 method in parent class also. M2 parent. Okay, and child wants to extend parent class. Okay, and grandparent, both of the classes, means if one class wants to extend two different classes, then this is multiple inheritance, which is not possible in Java. Likewise, I will try to write child class want to extend grandparent and parent both, suppose parent and grandparent. Then you will see class body to complete class declaration. Okay, it is showing you error this way, like because it is not possible in Java, multiple interest is not possible in Java. Because why this is not possible? See, grandparent has one method m2, parent has one method m2. Now if you call method m2 in the main here, if you try to call m2 method, okay, which is present in parent and grandparent, then it has this parent has different implementation, it has written some different logic, grandparent has written some different logic. Okay, now how it will decide which class method it has to invoke, because both has the different execution. That's why Java developers which has designed the Java not allowed multiple inheritance in Java. Okay, so this is the question, because this parent has different implementation, grandparent has different implementation. Now child will call which method? Child will call both of them, but whenever you will clear the object, which class method, which m2 method should be invoked, either parent or grandparent. That's why Java doesn't allow the multiple inheritance. Okay, you don't have to use that, there is no conceptual use, but this is an interview question, that's why I explained. Yes. Sorry. uh, yeah, right, grandparent and parent. See, this is not like that we have same methods, and this just I have given example. If we have two different methods, then still observing this, that this could be happen, that same methods can be there, observing this could be happen, Java developers had not allowed you to create multiple inheritance. So doesn't matter you have different methods, yeah, or you have same methods, this is not possible, because this could be happen. That's why they have not designed Java like that way, which is allowing you to create multiple inheritance. Okay. Yeah, yeah. And one more reason is there, constructor chaining. So once I will be covering the constructor chaining, then I will be telling you how, why this is not possible. There are two reasons. First one is I explained today, the second one I will explain in next class. So this is my side from the this class. This very basic concepts are covered. Tomorrow I will cover the overloading, overriding, constructor chaining, and of course the abstract class interface. If something left, then next week. Okay. Yeah. See, this is not like remove, this is a logical program question. Immutable means what? See, you have to write logic for that, where you have to remove particular element from the array. Okay, now you have to write logic for that, and logic you have to develop your own. any concept you are not understanding, or even if this program you are not able to do, then we will organize a separate session for that. Okay. Now, why see, this is an array assignment for practicing the array. So, you have to do with the array only. For array list you have a different assignment. Okay. Okay. Because see, I am not giving by my own, even in my experience in taking interviews and giving interviews, these are very common questions, and you have to understand and write the logic if you want to clear interview in multiple MNCs. Okay. That is why these assignments are given. Okay. 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 So, this is from my side today, and